the headlines of the agenda of such a great and important summit of the Africa Forward 2026. And to shed more light on this, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by our prominent guest, Dr. Yomn Hamaky, the economics professor. Dr. Yomn, great pleasure having you with us. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, through the very positive participation of His Excellency President El-Sisi and the strategic talks held by His Excellency, we can just say that Egypt is trying to enhance its role as a gateway for investment, for trade, and for diplomacy in the whole continent. First of all, how do you elaborate on this in general?
Yes, you know that Africa now can be considered as a very important continent regarding human resources when we are talking nowadays about the rare elements that are going to contribute to a large extent for the production of artificial intelligence and, you know, as well as all other mineral resources that the continent is quite rich of it, and most countries of the world are looking forward towards enhancing its relations with the continent. But for this summit specifically, we would like to address Africa as a continent, as a partner continent, not subordinate or dependent continent that concentrated on just providing raw materials and getting from other countries of the world manufactured and finished goods. And this is a very important point to be mentioned, that we are not, the continent, it's not just asking for aid, to receive aid from developed countries and then to be exploited as a source of natural resources.
This is exactly what the President of Kenya, President William Ruto, had mentioned in his address. First of all, as Africa doesn't need dependency. Africa needs win-win situation, needs sovereignty, investments, and needs real partnership with France and with the whole world. It doesn't need capital, because he actually mentioned great capitals already still exists in the continent, like $4 trillion in the banks in the African banks, and like $500 billion over there. So he stressed actually that Africa doesn't need money. It needs fair chains and fair finance and managing for all this. Risk architecture, what we can say, risk architecture model.
Yes, you know that the continent, if we revise the main challenges confronting the continent, we can see that the continent is in deep need for infrastructure, first of all. And infrastructure, you know that some of these African countries, you know, are a very important source of oil, but they are lacking electricity, for example. So from here it comes that they are lacking the necessary infrastructure so that to use their own resources for the benefit of their people. From here it comes the importance to enhance systems of education, to upgrade skills of human resources, to industrialize the continent. And I believe that Egypt is a very important country for the African continent. Why? Because during the presidency of Egypt with the African Union, we had agreed upon having a very important strategy towards industrialization of the continent. Still, you know, the problem is about the transfer of technology. Most multinationals seeking to invest in the continent, they are looking for raw materials and they are looking to maximize their benefits on the benefit of the continent. From here it comes that we need a new approach, as you mentioned, and I believe that President Macron, when he addressed such importance of this meeting, he highlighted the importance of having the partnership relationship, which means that a mutual investment for the benefit of both countries, And this investment, should concentrate on the industrialization of the continent, on building infrastructure, on transferring technology, and upgrading skills. I believe that this can be done by the hand of Africans themselves, and I believe that, the strategy of 2062 of sustainable development for the continent is comprising such goals towards, the industrialization of the continent, and to how extent the continent can use its resources efficiently enough for enhancing different types of industries. And when we have a free trade area, that's about to start and to proceed, this needs a lot of work by the African Union, by the institutions of the African Union, so that to pave the way and prepare the continent for, addressing the new challenges. Specifically nowadays, when we talk about the challenges confronting the world economy, you see nowadays that we are going towards polarization, re-globalization. The countries of the world nowadays, regarding rules of law, the role of WTO, all these organizations that support to manage what is called fair trade among countries of the world, they cannot now work properly after the presidency of Trump, and to how extent the trade war nowadays, and imposing tariffs on countries of the world due to political reasons rather than economic reasons approved by the WTO. So all these challenges nowadays need from the continent to reshape itself and try to benefit, because these challenges are providing some benefits for the continent. Still, we have a lot of things to be done about our countries, about enhancing the quality of life for African people, about empowering women, since women they are suffering in the continent from feminization of poverty, use the very high rate of unemployment and low skills in the continent. So these challenges should be addressed properly so that you can capture the opportunities nowadays existing in the world economy.
Yeah. Dr. Yomn, as we are watching now in the follow-up as the strategic talks that held by His Excellency President El-Sisi with the Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, also with the UN Secretary, General Secretary Antonio Guterres, and the IMF, how they praised Egypt's reforming program, economic program, and which economic impact does this have? Your point of view.
The attendance of international organizations in such summit, is giving a very important message, which is that, without having such organizations in the world economy, you cannot manage, providing fair trade, fair types of investments, and so on. What about the position of Egypt? Egypt nowadays is, in a very transition period in which we have a very good opportunity to benefit from the economic reform. Nowadays, we have our resources, and with the African continent, we can do a lot. You know that our relation with the African continent, that approximately $9 billion of trade. We have Egyptian investors, they are investing in the continent. We have mega projects that we are proceeding in the continent, like in Tanzania specifically, and in other countries as infrastructure. Egypt is having nowadays a very important experience in infrastructure, specifically generating electricity. We have a very important project regarding renewable energy We have very important projects regarding desalination. All these projects, the continent is in deep need of it. We have our experts that are nowadays trying to, transfer such experts into the continent so that they can benefit from these experiences towards industrialization, towards building infrastructure, because without having roads and transportation methods, you cannot make economic development and economic growth. So all these experience can benefit, the continent, and from here it comes the importance of, what we can call the value chains should be contemplated among the African continent. So we have intra-investment. This will encourage intra-trade, and by building capacity specifically for human resources, which can be represented as essential.
Indeed. Yeah, of course, the direct and the direct and personal engagement with such great credit ratings, institutions, and the global leaders has really a great impact on the economy in general and the trade and investments in particular. Dr. Yomn Hamaky, economics professor, many thanks for your insights and for being with us. Have a nice day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a short break with our top stories, and we'll be right back.